Hey, welcome everyone to another fantastic episode of the Infinite Star Connections. We are your hosts. I'm Viviane Chauvet and my dear friend Jeff Demers. But today we are really, really blessed. We have a wonderful guest all the way from Dubai. We have the lovely Sabine Poncelet. And before we dive into an amazing conversation and also some animal communication, allow me to introduce Sabine properly. Sabine was born and raised in Belgium. She is bilingual in French and English, certified NLP and Life Coach, multidimensional healer. She specializes in healing with complex PTSD. She holds a postgraduate in Transpersonal Regression Therapy from the TASSO Institute in Holland. She has studied and mastered a multitude of healing techniques and modalities. But most impressively, Sabine has developed her own technique to help people get back into their own balance, find our inner peace, harmony, and live happy lives. Among many talents that she has, Sabine is also a natural animal communicator and very gifted intuitive, and I can tell you that it's very true. I have the joy of knowing Sabine for a number of years. She also utilized communication on a telepathic communication level. She's been talking with animals since she was 7 years old. So imagine how much we're going to be diving into. By the end of 2019, she's been naturally attuned with light language after she met her first galactic and angelic being. So we're going to talk about also Sabine's mission, life journey with the intergalactic being, animal communications, and so much. I mean, Sabine is a wealth of gifts and beautiful energy. Sabine, want to welcome you to the Infinite Star Connections.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for receiving me and to receive Lucy. She couldn't wait.
I love it. Oh, absolutely. Every time we work together, we have to have Lucy as part of it. Well, Sabine, you've been living in Dubai for a number of years, if I understand correctly.
11 years now, something like that, yeah. Quite a long time.
Yes, it's a long time. What brought you to Dubai, especially a big move from Belgium?
Yeah, that's quite a big move. Before Dubai, I was living in Luxembourg. Originally, I'm from Belgium, Liège exactly, from the French part, where I lived for many, many years. And then I decided to move in Luxembourg for my career because I was in finance at that time. I stayed 11 years in Luxembourg. And then I had the choice to move either in US, but was a bit more difficult. That was a dream, like many people. And then when I heard about Dubai on TV, I was like, wow, this is the place I need to be. And I came on holidays the first time. And when the plane landed, I felt like, wow, I'm feeling like home. And from that day, maybe after 15 days I was there, I was already sending CV. I got a job and that's how I started. Yeah.
Incredible, incredible. Because I know your journey. You started as a full-time entrepreneur. You were a financial controller and tax professional, weren't you?
Yeah. For 18 years approximately. Yeah. And I came in Dubai for that, but I didn't stay long. Life is bringing you some path and then you have to make choice. And my calling was always what I'm doing. But when you are in finance, you have a high ego. I have to be honest with myself. I had to work a lot to balance my ego. And for me, this was like, this is not a job. I loved that because I was doing on the weekend, I was doing for friends of the friends, and I had already clients, but was like, okay, working in finance is fine, that's good, but working as a healer, no, excuse me, what the heck? That was my ego only speaking. And then I've been confronted to a situation where I had no choice. And I knew that was my guide pushing me because I asked. When I touched the rock bottom, I asked and I was like, what I'm doing now? I say, listen, you need to change direction. Finance is finished for you. but I didn't accept directly. It took me a while to finally accept. I was going in networking meeting, giving a business card finance manager and another business card for healer. And I was choosing the people following what I feel with my intuition. Okay, that one is for healing, that one is for finance, because I was ashamed to say I'm a healer. This was only my ego speaking. Finally, I had to learn because I was searching a job after I lost my job. All the doors were closed. My guy told me, don't try, you need to change direction. But I didn't listen. And by my fault, I touched the rock bottom because I didn't listen. It's only at that time that I woke up and I was like, okay, fine, let's start somewhere. And then I put an ad because I was at the point like, okay, my ego is scratched. That's what I needed, by the way, giving a big slap to my ego. I was like, okay, let's put an ad for healing and I will propose to do animal healing first. First client, second client, third client. And that's how I started. And then I took courses in hypnotherapy, in transpersonal regression, because I wanted to work also on human. The main reason was I discovered that when you work on animal, that's something amazing. This is very good. But with time, I could see many, many different situations where the animal was absorbing the energy of the surrounding. And the surrounding was the master, the owner, the family, whatever who it was, always I could find the energy of the people who was living in the same place as the animal. Then I've made my own conclusion. I started to do research, and yes, my conclusion was, okay, you can heal the animal, but you need to heal people with, because it's a balance. If people don't heal themselves, animal will never heal because they will continue to absorb the energy of the owner. I had many cases where, example, a horse, the owner was totally depressed. The horse lost 100 kilo, which is enormous for a horse. And the vet came, of course, story like every time. And then when I saw the owner of the horse say, listen, your horse is depressed, but it's not the energy of the horse itself, it's yours. Then I had to work on the person and on the horse to fix the situation and teach the person how to not come back to such a stage at the point that the horse is falling too deep and finally is sick. I have many, many examples like that. I could write a book.
That's brilliant. Absolutely. You could write a book, Sabine, and I love that.
I thought about this. Yeah.
Yes, of course. You need to write a book. But the two things that I really want to come back and review is first, how you have allowed yourself to receive higher guidance, listen to your guides, listen to directions, and bridge the three-dimensional way of what your mind thinks that it wants, way of living, and how your life mission was about healing, helping people, bridging animal kingdom with the humanity, helping yourself, techniques, and being able to see you are living proof to show that when you listen to your guidance, you listen to your guides, the intuition, and look where you are today, you are bridged that. And I think that's just very inspirational. Being able to transcend the lower frequency in the mental, from the ego, like you mentioned. And it's the transcendence of it. It's being able to move past that. And second, I love what you said about working with animals is to understand also the environmental influences and the people around it, and how much we are influencing one another. Is just to show you, again, everyone, we have been telling everyone how much power you carry in you. You can influence also the health and the well-being of your animals and everyone around you. So thank you for that, Sabine. That was incredible.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Yes, yes. I want to dive more in terms of, with all the energy, everything that you have learned. Can you also talk a bit about your intergalactic connection? I know you have your first encounter with a galactic and an angel beings, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct.
Can you share about this?
If my memory is good enough, I think it was in 2018 or 19, something like that. I've been always connected to different realms, let's say like that, since the age of 7 years old, approximately. I could hear what is going on in the mind of my animals. I had 4 cats at home, I had a dog, and I was surrounded with animals. When a cat was pregnant, I didn't go at school the day after because at night I was delivering the kitten of my cat. If I didn't do that, she was coming in my bed, taking me to help her. And I didn't know I had this healing power to help at that time. Was normal for me. And I was understanding exactly what was going on with my dog, with my cat, was normal. But then also at the age of 7, I had another experience with my grandfather who passed away. And after he passed away, I could see him near to my bed every night. That was the period when my parents divorced. Then, like every child, you need extra help. And he was the one who was coming to help me every night. It can seem crazy like this, but always he has been with me. I could see him. Of course, when I said that to my mother, that I'm speaking with animal and I can see ancestors, she was like, okay, animal, don't speak, don't say that to anyone because people will judge you, they will reject you, forget. Shut your mouth. Then I shut my mouth for many, many years. And I even shut my, I would say, clear sight, let's say like that. Teenager time is passing. Until one day, I've been brought to a spiritism center with a friend of mine. It was not for fun. She was believing in that, but I was like, wow, this is weird, but I followed her. And they had many medium on the podium. And we were like pseudo client. It was a big assembly. And curious enough, I said, okay, let's go. But my surprise was that she got her message, but I didn't place any pictures because I went, this is bullshit. I'm sorry, this is bullshit. I was 18. Then a woman who was on the podium, a medium, said, you there, you. I'm like, me? She said, yeah, you. Me? She said, yeah, you. And then she started. She said, you have a man behind you, la, 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 la. Oh, wow. And when she described that person, it was my grandfather. Then I could not deny. I was facing my own things. And she said, listen, you see him most of the time. You can converse with them by telepathy. And she started to explain. And she said, Sabine, you are talented for that. It's natural. You need to follow the course with us. No way, leave me alone. But finally, I ended up there. And I was on the podium with them for quite a while. But I never said that in finance. I was doing this on the weekend because if I said that in finance, I would lose my job, clearly. And I was doing that with people just as a spare time. But for me, it was like a yoga retreat for many, many years. And that's how I was combining both. And then here in Dubai in 2019, something like that, I had the habit to go in a park in the evening. And I was walking and connecting and do my stuff, my meditation. I had the habits to see ancestor. That was normal for me. But that day, I saw someone much taller and with a different energy. And then I look at that person and I said, you are not an ancestor. He said, no, I'm a Lemurian. What is that? I never heard that word, What is that? I said, what is your name? And he said his name. His name was Dao. I was like, okay. And then he disappeared. I didn't have a conversation with him. He said, I will come back. Then he started to come back more often. And then I had others who were not human. They had a different appearance, like with a cat hair, tail, and all that stuff. But that was my first encounter with Lemurian and then galactic being. And I started to do some research because I didn't know what it was. And that's how my journey with galactic being started. Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Well, I got a question for you. The Lemurian being who came to you, did he maybe share with you? Maybe you have a connection to Lemuria yourself. Maybe he recognized you from that timeline.
When he came to me, that time, like I said, he didn't give me any message. He said, I will come back. And he came back through different meditation I have done, telling me that he was a guide for me. That was the first guide I've met that was not ancestor, let's say like that, on the human term, let's say this way. And he came back a few times. And now every time when I do session, I'm calling him, always. And of course others, but that's the first one always. I'm calling, including Archangel Michael, which I never thought I would one day have a connection with. This was my own self-esteem issue until finally, yes, I got it. At the beginning, I was like, no, you don't deserve that. It's too high level, until I understood, because I received many messages and finally I accepted that, yes, it's an archangel. That's not a joke. And after that, I started to get others. Yeah. One Andromeda also came one day. I think I've met almost all. Yeah. Lyrans quite often. Arcturians also. Yeah. One day I got one. Yeah. And others, but I never knew. And you remember I spoke about this. I gave you the three who came. They were like purplish skin, something like that, quite small, but very, very wise and very elevated being. But never I could know the name of the planet. And finally, at the end, I didn't ask because I got their name. And somehow I could feel the connection I had with them. And I'm calling them also every time I do a session. Yeah.
So what does it look like to you when you work on a client, working with the Lemurian Guide, different intergalactic groups, as you beautifully described, Sabine? And again, many people, they love the journey, moving out of ego and getting you back into your true soul purpose. And that's what we bring here on this podcast. We love to bring amazing, talented, genuine people like you, Sabine. And it's from all over the world. So again, thank you for being with us. It's really a pleasure. How does it for you to work with such a variety of intergalactic intelligence, wisdom, Lemurian energy in a session? What does it look like to you?
It became natural. Sorry. At the beginning, no. At the beginning was like, wow, this is weird. They asked me first, that's Dao who asked me first to be available every evening when I was home. Then I was doing my meditation. And I would say not day by day, but maybe week by week, I had new guides coming. And then they said, don't be scared because you will start to see things that for you seems really weird. Of course, cat ear, human body, tail. Until one day, I was not surprised enough anymore. I met his name, I think, is Ra. He has an eagle face and a man body. He came many times, especially at the moment when I was going like that, because my energy was changing, everything was changing, and I was really disturbed at night. I had many visitors that I didn't like, and then he came. And from that day, when I felt bad, I was calling him. Until the point, one day one told me, Sabine, now you have your team, and this is the name of your team. I was like, oh, okay. And they showed me, they had 6 people, something like that, and say, those one will be with you all the time. And then many joined, like, okay, we want to work with you. So, okay, fine. It became natural. Like when I was working with Ancestor, when I was on the podium at the Spiritism Center, let's say like that, and people are coming to speak with you, it's the same now. It became really like, okay, no more.
Yeah, that's actually very common.
It's hard when you have all that stuff. Say again, sorry.
Yes, that is actually very common that when people reach that certain level, they are assigned certain individuals or certain ETs to guide them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I think that's the case. Yeah.
Sabine, especially right now, the month of July is very much about caring for healing ourselves, very much self-caring, so we can be in a higher alignment to be able to receive this form of guidance. Based on your experience working with clients, working with animals, intergalactic groups, and also your training, what would you recommend for people right now to be able to bring that connection, help to clear the pathway, release attachment, release fear? What would be some piece of wisdom you can recommend?
Yeah. Okay. I would say be yourself. Really, don't be afraid to be judged, because I think this is the biggest fear we have. That was mine, because coming from a background of finance, people in finance have a very high ego. I think that's the highest on every field. Maybe I'm wrong, but was a very high one. And the main things is being afraid to be judged or criticized. But when you start to work from your heart, or speaking from your heart and saying, okay, if I'm judged, and then whatever can happen, that's it. I speak what I feel from my heart. And I know I'm right because it's from my heart. It's not from my mind or my monkey dancing at the back. I would say that's the main things. Be authentic, be transparent, and don't be afraid to be judged. Because you will be judged always. You can do whatever you want. You cannot please everyone. Not everyone can love you. You can be the best on earth. You will be judged always. That's the variety of people. We need balance, and yeah, that's how it works.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Um, you know, love, it's an energy, like a substance of creator that binds us all. So when you release any kind of fear or roots of fear, whether it's being judged, criticized, being rejected, ridiculed, and all of it, it really brings you back to feel, how do you love yourself? That self-love. How do you allow yourself to be in that space? So that's a really good question. I want to bridge more the animal kingdom, because with you we have a golden opportunity to do this. We have a question for you from Megan. If I can read that to you, Sabine. Is that
Yes,
okay?
yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. Sabine, Megan says, I heard that an animal communicator connected a woman's dog, and the dog said that their caretaker was not the same anymore, not the person they knew. And this was after they had been there has been changes around them. Have you ever experienced this with an animal? Meaning that when we work with an animal, they tell you how much they observe their caretaker changing, whether after an event, whether they receive something, maybe they have something has entered their body or something has changed about them. Have you experienced that?
Yeah. I've experienced a similar situation where that one, the first one I will explain, was about lies in a couple, which was not fun because nobody was prepared for that. But sometimes animals are also there to say things. They are authentic and transparent, and they don't see the bad things by saying that. The case was, I was speaking with a dog, and the woman was with me on the session on the camera. And at some point in the conversation, the dog said, yeah, it's painful because of the smoke. And I asked the dog, say, can you give me a pictures of that or make me feel, what do you mean by the smoke? And the dog showed me the man smoking a cigarette when the dog is going outside. Then I said that to my client, said, your dog is showing me this and saying that. And she looked at me and said, how come he doesn't smoke? And I'm like, are you sure? Yeah, he stopped 3 months ago. And I'm like, that's not what I think, from your dog. Then the dog was saying things like, woo, like that. Then I got news a few days later, and she said, yeah, I started to search because of the dog saying, and I found cigarette. He was lying to me. This is one of the situation. I had also a situation where a dog was becoming crazy, a German Shepherd, quite aggressive. And when the owner explained to me what was happening when the German Shepherd started to bite, which didn't happen before, the situation was the dog was looking above the head of the person, near to the ceiling. And the dog seems, I was not there when this happened, the dog seems really absent, like looking at someone always around the owner.
Mm-hmm.
And when I connected with the owner, then yes, I saw they had some stuff attached to the aura of the owner, which was, I would say, an emergency to release because the dog was mirroring the aggressivity of the being who was behind the client. That's not always easy to explain that to someone, because when the person listened what I said, the person looked at me like, sorry, this is too much for me. It's not always well received for some people, because knowing that you have an attachment on you is not always pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
When you work on an animal, okay, is your team involved with you with that animal? Or
I
is
call
it
them
just
often
you?
before a session. I call them to hold the space always, because the animal is never an issue. The animal, I would say, every animal are high vibrational being, much higher than us.
Yeah.
Then the issue is not really there. They just absorb the energy to help us to cope with a difficult situation, mainly because they are unconditional love being. That's it. Now, the complications start with the client itself, because I never know who I will find on the other side of the camera. I don't know how the person is surrounded at work, in the private life. What are the issues of the client? Because maybe I never met the client. I know this is a dog, this is a horse, this is maybe an iguana, whatever. But then, before starting every session, I call my team all the time to hold the space here in case, but also to hold the space in the place of the client. It's like I send them on a mission. I took the habits now to do that. I say, guys, I need you there, 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 there. And I have always the name of the client when they book a session. And I give the name to my guides. And I say, listen, I need you to hold the space to help the person and the animal, and to help me also that the session is going well for everyone. That's what I do all the time. Yeah. And then, yes, I'm working myself on the animal, and mainly that's me interacting with the animal through telepathy. Sometimes when I cannot get answer from the animal, especially in the cases where you have abused, the case of deeply abused animal. I had dogs with the ear cut, stuff like that, beaten, burned with cigarette. Oh, you can see this everywhere in the world. Then sometimes the animal wants to protect the one who touched the animal before, because they are like that. They are unconditional love being. Then they will never accuse anyone. They just say like a child, innocently. Now, when I have a situation like this, and the animal is so traumatized that the animal doesn't want to go back in time, at the period when the incident happened, that I can heal also, then I call my guides and I say, listen, I don't get any answer from the animal. The animal is not ready to go back, or doesn't want to show me to protect the previous owner, or sometimes the current owner, which can be the husband and that's the wife is taking the session. This happened. It's rare, but this happened. Hello. Oh, she's amazing. And yeah, that's what is happening mainly. Yeah.
Thank you
Then
so
my
much.
guys are taking the leads.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's all.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's beautifully described, Sabine. Well, Peanut was meowing the entire time.
She
And
was in a hurry to come.
so, if you're comfortable,
I
if
just
you're
need to
always you're
see
comfortable,
her eyes, if you don't mind. That's how I can connect.
come on, baby. Pina.
You will have to take her back.
She's like, I know what you're going to be doing.
I will
Okay.
show you something. It's like gold.
Oh, I mean,
She is always ready.
yeah, my girl is a little bit more energetic. So I'm so glad for. Maybe she'll come back. It's when you were talking about this wonderful experience. I mean, the way you describe everything, she was like meowing and talking in the background very loudly, and I can tell that she was connecting with you, Sabine. And as she came to the room, just enough to say, "Now you see me." No, no. Well, we do have quite a few questions in the chat room for you. So I'm glad Jeff, you asked this question. It was a really good one. And I feel like we're also helping the planet to heal the different kingdom. We're reconciliating humanity with the animal kingdom, the
It's
earth,
time.
right? All
It's time.
sentient life form together. Well, Sabine, Liz is asking this wonderful question. She said, when you are stressed out, like right now her mom is going through cancer, how do I stop from transferring that stressed energy to my dogs and cats?
Okay.
That's a good question.
First, you don't transfer yourself, the energy, to your dog or your cat. And this is where the subject become like, I will explain. That's the animal who choose to absorb your energy. I had situation where owner were telling me like, say to my dog to stop this, say to my cat to stop, say to my horse to stop to absorb. And the animal was like, no way, I need to help you. This is my mission and this is why I came to you. They are ready to die for us. And that's not a problem for them. That's not a problem to die since they can save us. That's the most important part. They forget themselves. The priority is us. They exist, I would say, to serve. Yeah, they're really at the service of human. That's what I have noticed many, many times with many of my clients, where the animal was like, no way, she is sick, I need to help her. This is why I said, you need to fix yourself. When I say fix, it's a big word, to heal yourself if you want that your animal is also healing. Otherwise, every time you have an issue, in case of cancer, you don't transfer the energy to your animal. That's the choice of the animal to help you to take a part of your energy, sometimes more than a part, depends on the animal and the situation. Some animal will take more than others. Again, it's a soul. Then as individual soul, every animal will absorb the energy in a different way, the quantity, everything will change. But then they take the energy, they really absorb in them to help us to cope, that it's less painful, that we have less heavy luggage on us to work on. That's mainly what is happening. It's not us. And I would say don't feel guilty when your animal is sick and someone is telling you, okay, your animal is sick, but you know the energy is yours on your animal, or your animal has pancreas trouble. Or I had a case with a cat who had diabetes, but that was the father who was diabetic in the family. Then you cannot say to the diabetic one, okay, stop to be diabetic. It's not possible from one day to another one. It's a journey. They need to learn. They need to be coached how to change their emotion, how to cope with certain things to finally heal themselves. Because you can heal diabetes, you can heal everything finally. Then the animal will take only high level of energy. Because let's keep the example of a cancer. It's heavy energy in general. I will not enter in the subject of cancer, but just to give you an example, the animal sometimes can get your cancer and die from. I had a case with a cat who had a tumor in the brain. And when I asked the person, say, listen, I see this, and that. And she said, yeah, I know, it's my father. He just died 3 months ago. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. Then the cat took all the energy to help the father. The father finally died, but now it's the cat who has a tumor too, exactly at the same place as the father had. For me, it's not a coincidence. It's a choice from the cat. And when I spoke to the cat was saying, this is not an issue. It's okay. I'm okay. And I'm totally fine. Now we work on the cat. We don't know how it will turn. Even myself, I said to the client, I don't know what is the contract of your cat, because maybe the contract is almost ending and it's time for the cat to leave. I have no idea, because sometimes they tell you, sometimes not, because they have certain things that it's better to not know. Also, we would never work on ourselves if we knew everything. Then we don't know how it will turn. We could help some animal with deep issue like that who finally healed. Sometimes no. Then finally, don't feel guilty if you are really sick and your animal is absorbing your energy. That's not your fault. That's the choice of the animal only. And don't say to the animal, stop to do this. No way, because in general, I receive a no. And they say, no, I'm at the service. This is my mission. I'm here to help you to feel lighter and to cope with the situation. Yeah.
I got a question. Do you see animals in every continent? Like, does every country have animals that do the same thing?
Yeah, I would say here, for example, in UAE, I have people from Abu Dhabi, I have people from Dubai, I had people from other Emirates also, either physical or on the camera. Most of the time I'm online. It's easier for everyone.
Hmm?
It's always the same situation. I had people in Belgium. The best example is my father. Well, now he passed away, but he had a cat, a Persian cat. And I remember he never believed me about this, but I was sure about that situation because my parents don't see me as a healer. That's always the same situation. In family,
Yeah,
they
no,
see you as
you're
a
always
child,
their
you know,
kid.
even you get older, you are still the child.
Yeah.
And I remember my father never had trouble around his heart or the arteries or any thrombosis, nothing. He seems okay. And the cat died all of a sudden from a thrombosis, which was like, oh, wow. And he decided to not have another cat. He said, finish, done. I don't want any cat anymore. I need to recover, etc. 6 months later, he was at the hospital. We were placing 3 stents to avoid more trouble. The cat was not there anymore to help him to cope with the situation and to maintain him. That's the best example. Yeah.
So they're basically healers for the human race.
Sorry?
They are basically healers for the human race.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Exactly. Yeah. And cat, I would say, are the more in tuned and highly telepathic one. Horse are very high too, but I mean, cat is different. Cat, I would say, they're more psychic. I had also psychic horses, but in general, conversation with cat are different because they are going from one realm to another one, always, constantly. It's like I put a t-shirt every day, they change, they jump out of the body all the time. It's normal for them.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. True. Very true. And they can also move through dimensionality. I mean, I had my boy, my Jimmy at the time, he was an expert at I call him my multidimensional jumper. He would leave the house for hours, but he was not outside because he was an indoor cat only with all the door locks, everything. And he'd be gone like 10, 12 hours sometimes. And he comes back popping out of nowhere in the corridor going, what? You call me? Because he was having fun playing with his multidimensional friends. And he will tell me I was playing. I'm like, what do you mean we're playing?
Just pop in out of thin air?
Yeah. And then one time, I'm telling you, Jeff, and one time he missed his re-entry in this dimension. He ended up in the fireplace, and the fireplace was blocked.
Oh.
But in the fireplace, when there's no entry on the other side, I have to open everything and get him out of there. He was covered in ashes.
Okay.
It was safe because the fireplace was not utilized. It was just a decor, but he was covered in hazard. He was a white cat. Can you imagine? And I look at him and he goes, "Oh, I missed my entry." I thought, "Yes, you did. Just don't go back in the fireplace anymore." And he did not. But I saw it with my own eyes. So
This is
they
why
are
in ancient Egypt they were using big cats at the entry for the protection, because they could sense and see things that people didn't. Yeah.
true.
You ever heard of a race called Irmas?
Sorry?
Have you ever heard of a race called Irmas? No?
Not yet.
Okay. Just asking, curious. It's supposedly a cat race.
Ah, okay.
An
No, not
ET
yet.
cat race. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
there are many intergalactic groups who are not categorized by name so much or not as popularized by their names or who have been interacting with the earth for so long. Speaking of interacting, we still have a few wonderful questions for you, Sabine. 50 is asking, what are the abilities of our higher self? Can you talk about it?
Okay. What are the abilities of your higher self?
Yes.
First of all, many people have difficulties to connect with their higher self. That's my case when I'm too stressed. But it's rare, but it's happening because I'm a human like everyone and I have my experience. I would say the higher self is the highest part of yourself who knows everything about your past, your present, and your future. That's first how I would define your higher self. It's finally a part of your soul, the highest version of yourself. Now, I'm not an expert in the higher self, to be honest with you. That's what I can say about the higher self for the moment. But when you connect with your higher self, you get much better guidance about everything. And you are able to do better choice than when you go rationally. Yeah.
I love this. I love the simplicity and yet the power of your answers, Sabine. You're so refreshing. I can
Thank
tell
you.
you're right. You speak from your
I
heart,
don't know everything, and higher self, I'm not the expert. That's not for me.
but that's okay
That's all I know.
because you're still sharing your wisdom for what you understand, and that has value. I think it's wonderful. And from there, the other question you can tell there's a correlation to it. Catherine, she said, during my first QHHT session, the therapist made a comment that apparently she was surrounded by animals. So Catherine wants to know, what can I do to better sense them? Sense those beautiful beings.
That's
What
a
can
good
I do?
question.
Yeah.
Good, right?
Probably was animal guides. This is clear on the spirit realm. To connect with them, I would say, first of all, open your heart, because the best way to connect with animal, either spirit animal or here incarnated on earth, is having a pure heart. When I say a pure heart, an example is one day I failed into a session and I had to say, okay, cannot work today, I'm sorry, we have to stop here and I will come back tomorrow to speak with your cat, because that's a cat I knew who had trouble with neurons, but that cat was pretty much aware of everything, but I still had anger in my heart because I had not a fight, but my daughter was a teenager at that time and we had a discussion on the phone, and just when I hang up the phone, I was starting the session with the client. I cleared myself, but this still had some anger because I was really pissed off at my daughter. I'm a mom like everyone, I have feelings. Cannot be like, all the time. This is impossible. I'm a human. And then this was still there, but I was not aware. The cat looked at me and she said, no way, I don't speak to you today. And I'm like, what? Let me do the healing. And I mean, no, clear yourself. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because I thought I cleared myself. And the cat sent me a deep, very deep level of anger to make me understand that, wow, okay. And I said to the client, I'm sorry, but we cannot work. It's impossible. I will get nothing out of your cat today. I didn't say to the client, I had a fight with my daughter, blah, blah, blah. Of course, it's not professional, but that was the reality. And I could not get anything. The cat said, no way. Then, yes, having a pure heart, that's what I mean. And then enter in a level of meditation. You can do some breathing exercise first to calm the mind, and then open your heart. You can do some exercise or meditation to open the heart. They have many on YouTube. But for me, what I do often with my client, and it worked amazingly well, even with people who have no knowledge about this, it's I let them closing their eyes, take few deep breaths, and just following the rhythmic of the breath for 1-2 minutes, not more. And then imagine you have a beautiful light coming from the top of your head, and you can visualize you connect to the source and feel that light. And imagine it's a beautiful white light, but healing and soothing light, calming light at the same time. That's what I say to people when we start the exercise, and when I feel they're like, ooh, and feel the energy coming directly straight, entering into your heart. And then from your heart, you feel you spread the energy outside. Like you are in a ball of light, but that ball of light is just the light coming from the top of your head, coming out from here, and you build your ball of light. Mm-hmm. And then that ball of light becomes so powerful that you are capable to absorb the light that's coming, going out, and you take everything. And I say always to people, imagine your cellular memories just opening and being fed with that light, like they receive food, let's say like this. It's very simple. You don't need to go in a very complicated process, and this works amazingly well with people. Yeah, they can relax instantly, and all of a sudden they start to see things that they were not even expecting. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I felt it the entire time you were saying that, and I felt the energy moving. And that's all we need right now on this bridge of reconnection, even with ourselves, reconnecting with all aspects of ourselves, and also respecting life. There's so many beautiful comments, like what Maya just said. Animals are so helpful, compassion, loving. They are great beings. We need to respect them. So we're all in agreement here.
Yes.
This is very healing. I love this. Sabine, we have someone in the chat room who would like to ask you a question about her beloved dog's health, to see what you're getting intuitively. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And
Well,
maybe the person can, I cannot see a pictures or something like that right now. I don't know how it works here in your room.
well, it might be possible, because the question comes from the lovely Lavinia, who is Jeff's wife, actually. So your lady is asking a question, Jeff. All right, Lavinia, you're asking about Zoe. Zoe is the name of her dog.
Okay.
Zoe's health is falling, and of course, it's heartbroken. We would like to know if Zoe is in pain, and if you can feel, do you feel it might be her desire to cross over, or is there anything in that regards that Zoe may feel that with the pain, if she's in pain, for number one, if she's in pain, number two, is it because her contract is done? You feel she needs to cross, or what else? Whatever comes to you for Zoe. That's the name of the dog.
Okay.
Sharing the screen.
Okay.
That's
I'm
okay.
bringing Zoe right now.
Without seeing a pictures, I got it
It's right
already
there.
some trouble with the digestive organs.
Sabine, can you see the picture of Zoe on the screen right now?
Yes, I can see Zoe now. Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing girl. Yeah. Yeah, before seeing the pictures, I was writing the name of Zoe here, and I got digestive organs. I got liver damaged, really damaged. I don't know if it has been revealed by the exam, because sometimes your liver can be damaged, but it's only when it's broken that we see in a blood test. The same for human. Now the question is, she want to cross over or not, right?
Yeah, if she
Now,
might be ready.
she says, no, not now.
Okay.
No, I'm not ready. Give me a bit more time. I need to stay with you. Just manage the pain because it's heavy. Yeah, I feel my liver in pain, and I feel all my digestive organs giving me trouble for the moment.
Okay.
Sorry?
Okay, no, that's great.
Yeah, it's really painful, by the way. It's not fun.
No.
Anyway, I will have to clear that. Now, is that a tumor? That's what I'm suspecting, unfortunately.
No, she coughs a lot. I mean, like really coughing. So
I really have the pictures of all the digestive organs and the liver really damaged on a deep level. And I don't know why I get tumor.
okay, very good.
Yeah. Also, give her time, because she said, not now, I'm not ready. I know you still need me. We still have many, many things to share together. She's still in my energy. She's very powerful, by the way, because she came like, whoop. I don't have this with all animals. Some animal are like, whoa, give me time. Don't, especially cat. Huh? Cat is like, show me your CV first because I don't know you. I read your CV and then let's see after that. But for her, it was like, woof, everything came directly. She was like waiting to share that. She was waiting to speak. That's really what I can say. Now, give her months and 8 months, I want to say, she can stay with you and you can manage things. But
Okay.
at the same time, I feel you have the power to heal her. You, I mean, not me. You. That's what I receive. You can really help her, but you need to go deeper because you have a power in you that you don't even imagine to help her. And somehow it's a request that's coming indirectly from her, knowing that you are really capable not only to manage the pain, but to heal her if you want. Because that's where things are. You need to go deeper inside you and make the decision, okay, we stay together because I know you want to stay. She's not ready to go. Yeah.
Can you meditate with an animal too? Can you somehow join with like a dog and meditate?
Of course, you can join the energy of an animal and meditate with the animal. Yes, in many different ways. I have often the case where I teach my client to do a meditation with the animal, but not being present. I had a businesswoman who was traveling enormously, and she had a dog who had spine trouble at the point that the dog could not jump on the sofa anymore. But no disc damage, nothing. We did a scan, nothing, which seems really crazy. That's why she contacted me. I've done only 2 sessions to help the dog. And the second session, I said to her, listen, I think it's time for you to connect with your animal because he's feeling needy and at the same time he's feeling abandoned. And now he's getting the attention with the spine trouble and was really impressive, by the way. I said, okay, connect with him. Just do a meditation, visualize him and invite him, create a ball of light and open that ball of light. Bring your dog with you and just say to your dog, listen, I'm not here physically, but I love you. Send the love feeling. And I want you to know that I will come back. I'm here, I'm doing this. And you send images, you visualize certain things and you imagine like WhatsApp or SMS. You send images because the animal is receiving instantly. Mm-hmm. That's not a problem if you don't hear back, because most of my clients cannot hear back. But she did that exercise. Soon she was in a plane. And I said, now you have to do 2 times a day because that dog was something. And then you will go slowly when he understands the process and he knows that you will always come back. I never had to go back. The dog was walking perfectly well. Never we had trouble. I have the same with cats who are destroying the sofa. When people goes on holidays or out of the litter box, they pee, they look at you like that. And they pee just next to the litter box or on your bed. I had situation like that where the cat was peeing on the bed. And then I taught my client how to meditate with the cat, to explain to the cat what is really going on. Because the cat was just upset and the cat stopped. But it doesn't work in all cases because it depends on the ability of the client to be able to go deep into the mind of the
can you use a pyramid, like grab the cat and
Of
sit in
course,
the
you
back of
can.
pyramid and
Yeah, you can. Of course, you can use everything. They have no limit because animals are highly telepathic.
yeah.
You can be on the beach thinking about your cat, your dog, your horse. They receive the message. It's only us, we are too busy here to receive what they send to us. Yeah.
That is so true. When I travel for speaking engagements, conferences, my Peanut, my Bengal cat,
Say it to her.
she project herself in the hotel room to go check out where we are, what we're doing, and she asks me, "How long gonna be gone? When are you coming back?" And she comes, and I see her. I tell my husband Peter. I said, "Oh, Peanut is here. She's checking things out." So they're very much, and we do have the Kisa pyramid at home when I utilize to do my healing work with people. And my cats, we have 3. They all lay down in the pyramid all the time, every day. They
The energy.
absolutely love it. So thank you so much for this, Sabine. We still have wonderful questions for you. There's so much energy in the chat room. I am excited. I'm loving this so much.
Thank you.
Mike, welcome, Mike. Great question for you. Mike says, look, I love cats, a beautiful creature, but I'm allergic to them. Why am I allergic to cats? Why these allergy of cats, dogs, horses? Where is it coming from?
Okay. If the allergy is not from birth, I mean, you are not born with that allergy, you developed later on, let's say childhood or even adulthood, you started to develop an allergy to cat, meaning it's a situation where a cat was probably present in that situation. I will give you a good example with strawberry, which is nothing about cat, but just to explain to you how the psyche can interpret things. I had one of my clients who was allergic to strawberry. And because I do transpersonal regression, we go back to the cause of the problem. Then through the session, we went for the first time, she declared that allergy. It was birthday cake with strawberry in it. But the birthday cake, the strawberry were not the problem. They had a fight. She was 7 years old. Parents fight like crazy. It was like a form of trauma somehow. Let's say she had an emotional shock, to make it simple. I will not enter in detail. From that day, she became really allergic to strawberry.
Because
Then with
of that
that,
event of the
yeah,
fighting.
exactly. The body had a strong reaction. Then every time, because it's a connection between the body and the psyche, and it's very, very complex. I will not start to explain here, otherwise we can write a book together. No way. But that's how we interpret things on a deep level. It's unconscious most of the time, but with cat is the same. You need to go back and search in which situation you had an emotional shock or a deep trauma where a cat was present. Or maybe a frustration. Maybe your mom was frustrated because of the cat all the time and was criticizing the cat. Can be a programming at the same time, but in general, it's much more deeper than that. It's often linked to emotional shock or deep trauma, where unfortunately the cat was there in the situation, like I explained with the strawberry.
Yeah.
It seems really light from the outside, but when you go into the psyche, and I see in transpersonal regression, that's amazing. People are like, oh my God, I never thought about this.
Yeah. See, it's like a healing symbol, except it's opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We
so
are very
right on.
complex human being.
No, it is so right on, Sabine, because when we do subconscious work and work with the subconscious archive and to identify roots, whether it's soul history or ancestral or trauma, these associations can be very powerful. Now, somebody's been very talkative, like she's might be
Bring her.
talking to you.
I think both them cats want to talk.
Oh yeah, they're talking. She's back. She's in the room now. Let's see if I can grab her. Let's see.
I just need to see her eyes. Just 2 seconds.
Oh, she knows she's playing hide and seek with me. The moment I approach, she starts running. She doesn't do that normally. She's playing with you, Sabine, just so you know. Well, let's see if Peanut comes back. I've been calling her energetically.
Or maybe if you have a pictures and you want to share the screen.
Oh, yes.
And see her eyes. Yeah,
Okay,
for
that's
sure.
a good question.
Because if she doesn't want to come, cats, let her.
Because she knows. That's the
My
thing.
Lucy is the same, huh? She will
Well,
come to invade my space, but I cannot invade her space. No way.
exactly. Well, in the meantime, that's another fantastic question. I will retweet a picture for you. That's a great, and I'll show you the picture gladly. So Carol is asking a question which will help another person questions. She wants to know, do you talk with pets who have passed away to answer questions for their owners?
Yes, I just did one today. Yeah, and I teach that also because I teach animal communication classes. And this, I don't remember which level it is, but I think it's level 3, something like that, where I teach to my student how to communicate with animal in spirit. Yeah, it's easy. I mean, when you are trained, it's easy. Yeah. And they have so much wisdom when they passed away, by the way. They have messages. Even me, I'm like, wow, I didn't expect that. So much wisdom. Yeah. It's a soul, finally. Yeah. You speak with a soul.
Yes.
Just incarnated in a different vessel because they have a different mission. Yeah. No more than that. Wow, it seems simple for me. For me, it's simple. Yeah, they just choose a different body. Easy.
I love this. I'm with you 100%, believe me. And so I knew the answer to that. But so thank you, Carol. Then Tracy is asking, would it be possible for you to connect with my beloved rabbit, my little Fluffy, that passed away on the 25th of January, 2021, asking why Fluffy has left us so soon? Why did he have to go? I don't have any picture though. I only have it's a beautiful rabbit, Fluffy.
What was the name of the rabbit?
Fluffy.
With 1 F or 2 F?
2 F. Good question. Fluffy with a Y at the end. Beautiful Fluffy.
I was writing there. This is why I'm looking. That's how I receive. Fluffy was still young, right? That's what I get. Was not old, let's say old, big words. I feel a young rabbit, quite very young.
That's what Tracy said. Why can you ask why he was a male? Why he has to leave us so soon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's time? The message I get, and this is difficult for me because I have no pictures, but the message I get, first, he was very, very young. For everyone, it seems too soon, but for him, was time he was full. I'm sorry to say that way. He was fully absorbed too much. He was not capable to absorb more. And that's what took him. This is why he left. Yeah. Okay. Nobody saw it, but for me, he was sick. Sick after having absorbed many, many different type of energies. He was not, I want to say, was not really clean when he arrived. He was already heavily charged when he joined that family. I don't know what is the background of the mother, but I feel they had already some issue with the mother. And that rabbit was not really clean. And probably this is why it doesn't take a long time for him to be full. Sorry to say that way. Yeah. Again, I don't have a pictures, then it's really difficult for me to do it like that.
Mm-hmm.
What I get as an insight from the name and the date when he died. That's how I asked.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and yes, I just asked one of my guides saying, can you confirm? Because I'm feeling I'm going like in a moving sand. And I get a yes from my guide. Yeah. Full is a easy word. I will not enter in detail, but for me, he absorbed many, many different energies and was like, too much. Can't cope with it anymore. Yeah. The body was dying, let's say like that. Because too much charged. It's like when you have too much blockages, your organs cannot work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that was, yeah, I get a yes. I'm asking.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah, you're on the right path. Okay, because hey, guys, I don't have pictures. I'm lost. And yeah, it's a yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's beautiful. And I'm very grateful. Sabine, I'm sure that Tracy is also very grateful, and thank you for your time and energy. And so this is amazing because I felt something very similar, and I really hold a space with you when you were connecting with Fluffy. So we send Fluffy lots of love, and to you also, Tracy. Many blessings. So incredible question. I'm so grateful for everyone today. Thank you again for tuning in from everywhere. We have people from Ireland, with people from Canada, everywhere. It's just so incredible, incredible. I have a picture. I don't know. I'll attempt just to show you on my phone. I have a picture of my Peanut, but I have a close up on her face so you can see her eyes. Okay. So let's see. Let's do a little fun things here.
Ah, okay. Oh my God, that cat is someone. Woo!
Oh, she's my
Oh my
girl.
God, I never saw her eyes so close. It's speaking by itself. Okay. Peanuts, right? That's her name, huh?
Yeah, I call her Peanut because she was 2.2 pounds when I got her, and she's my baby. She's my girl. 8 weeks old when I got her. She was my
A
little
very, very strong soul, very powerful. And she came to you because she knew the work you do, by the way.
Oh,
Oh, her eyes are speaking like crazy. Okay. You know, I don't need to tell you that she's helping a lot, and her job mainly is holding the space, but not only. This is, let's say, the priority most of the time. She is clearing constantly. In case when you do session, this is why she's often around, she is checking. She's like my Lucy, she's doing the same. But I mean, she's checking and she's clearing in case they have some disharmony in the energy.
yes.
She is very proud to do that work, by the way. She knew when she joined you that her mission would be that, working on healing that specific field. And yeah, as young as she was, like you said, like a peanut, because she was very little, and yeah, she knew already. And that soul is a very high level, very, yeah, wide, powerful. It's like a warrior. That's what I feel. A warrior, but with a wisdom like, whew, it's amazing. I've seen very powerful cat, but that one, she knows exactly what she does. She has a specific mission. You know James Bond 007?
Mm-hmm.
Somehow.
Well, she's
But
my
on the energetic level, balancing, clearing, and yeah, she's amazing. Wow. Very, very strong. Personality strong also. Yeah. She's commanding everything. You have nothing to do, nothing to say. She's the one who is directing all the operation. I would say somehow for some client, I say, you are the slave, they are the boss. With her is very similar. She is deciding on her own way. With Lucy, I can manage, I would say somehow, but with Peanuts, no.
No.
She's the one who is directing all the operation, and you have to follow.
She's my girl. I'll tell you, I love what you're sharing with me right now because she was found alone in a parking lot in a hot summertime here in Arizona. A friend of mine found her only in a car, bent on her knees on the hot cement. Went, get Peanut, pull her out. And the first thing she did is just call me. She said, I found this kitten. I said, bring her in. And when she brought what now it's my Peanut home, she looked me in the eyes. She was 8 weeks old, 2.2 pounds. Okay. She looked me in the eyes and she said to me, you're going to feed me now. And
Huh.
you're going to be the one who feeds me.
That's her character.
Yeah. She tell me, feed me. And she starts screaming at me, "Roar!" Little meow. And she looked at me, little baby eyes, and she said, you're the one who's going to take care of me. I said, okay. And then here's my girl today. But she does have this little respiratory little sound. It feels like she's I'm always concerned about her breathing because she's pushing something about her breathing that I noticed too.
Have you checked the heart if she doesn't have a murmur?
I felt the heart, but it feels stable, but I'll do a lot of clearing for her, but I can feel the energy, so I'll double check her heart again.
Yeah. Maybe she has like we call a murmur
Yeah.
because she accumulated probably too much energy because she's working a lot.
Okay. Well, I'll have to. Okay. I know what
Yeah.
to do then. I know what to do. Thank you. Thank you, Sabine, for talking to my Peanut today. I know that many of you knows my Peanut, the famous tell and meditation when I do event online. Stay with us. We have another beautiful question from Sky Song saying, could a special animal or cat, for example, could can they be can they have been a human or dear loved ones in another lifetime, and they come
Yeah.
back to us as a form of a cat or a dog?
Yeah. Years ago, I didn't believe that, honestly, because I didn't have any experience until I got one, then I got two, then I got three, and I was like, it seems that it's not rare. It's not common. I mean, not every cat can say, okay, I have three life as a human and two as a dog and three as a cat. No, that's not working really like that. But I had story with animal who were telling me, listen, I've not been always a dog or cat. I've been human. This is possible. Yes. And one of the example I had was my client. I had a client, we call it a starseed, an empath at the same time, then very, very intuitive. We were doing a regression with her dog. And she wanted to know certain things for her and at the same time for the dog. And I'm like, okay, we can invite your dog in the session. That's also another way to work. The dog mentioned that few life, it was a human. And I was like, okay, that's not only me who is receiving that from the animal directly when they want to share with me. That client also mentioned, and she said, listen, my dog have been human. Then yes, it's possible. It's not a majority of the cases because in general, they have the tendency, if they are in the cat realm, they will come back in the same things. I would say it's like a habit, like us human, we have the tendency to come back as human. But yes, you can change. They have exception for everything. Yeah. And I think they have also many things that we don't know.
Very, very well said. Very well said. And especially with all the planetary changes we're going through, global consciousness change, shift, vibration, consciousness, healing. I feel like it's very important to return to what we call the extension of living, honoring yourself, honoring your animals, honoring the trees, honoring the earth. On that note, I know you work both animals and people, and of course the intergalactic, as you mentioned earlier, Sabine. Before I move on, because there's more questions for you, but I want to bring a bit of wisdom to see what are you noticing more that is important for people to do every day, maybe some daily practice to help people centered, release fear, being able to listen to your heart. What daily practice would you recommend for people?
First, I would say the priority for each and everyone is reconnect with nature. This is the first things. You will facilitate any meditation or any work you want to do on yourself when you are connected with nature, when you are grounded. The best tip I would give is go near to a tree. Well, here in UAE, we have tree because we have a lot of parks, but it's not always easy like in other countries. But in many, many countries, they have forest and everything, then you are surrounded with what you need exactly. The tree has the power to take your energy and transfer through the roots and send to the earth. And then the earth will filter that energy. And what I suggest, without searching any complicated way, because I know everyone is busy. When you work in corporate, you try your best, but you come back like a zombie because you have been accumulated with many, many things. That's always an issue for everyone. And I know because my clients are telling me that every day. Then go to a tree, place your back on the tree, just feel the energy of the tree and ask the permission always, because a tree can be sometimes, I've seen many beings on tree and I'm like, wow, next tree, better, depends the situation. Ask the permission to the tree to help you to release that energy and to connect on a deeper level with the earth. And if you feel comfortable, means it's a yes. If you feel like, oh, change, go to see another tree, because it's like everyone. I have my mood, I go up and down, and tree have a huge spirit. They are very strong. They can be, I would say, moody also sometimes. In general, it's a yes. I never had big trouble, only with the beings that were in the tree sometimes. Then when your back is on the tree, just connect and feel the energy of the tree feeding you, let's say like that. And ask the tree, say, listen, I'm feeling full, I need your help. Can you help me to release? And visualize your energy going to the tree, but passing through the roots of the tree. And then after that, you can do any meditation. It will be like, tak, 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 tak. Your mind will be clear, first of all. That's the best tip when you have difficulties. For me, I don't need to go to a tree because I do like that now. But for people who are still working in corporate, having a stressful life, that's like instant. You really feel it. And every client I suggest to do that, they said the same. They said, Sabine, this is amazing. My mind is clear after that. And I can do the exercise that you taught me and everything. Yeah. It's very simple, but it's a way of reconnecting with the earth because we are all disconnected. If we were connected, believe me, everyone would have a strong intuition and everyone would be able to speak with any tree, any animals without any difficulties, because that's an ability that everyone has. We are born with. We are telepathic being too, but
we're just undeveloped. That's all.
Exactly. And disconnected.
Yes.
First is the reconnection. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when you reconnect with nature, you reconnect with the animal kingdom.
Very true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they're always touching the ground. They don't use shoes, so they're always are connected.
Exactly. That's correct. Yeah.
Very well said. Connect with nature, reconnect with animals, reconnect with life, reconnect the pulse of life, which connects you back to the pulse of your own life as well. We can see what you just described, Sabine. It's a very beautiful network of deep reconnection that is available to us right here, right now.
Exactly.
So, yeah, thank you for this powerful reminder. this is more needed. I feel more needed right now more than anything else. So that's this really beautiful nugget of great wisdom. Questions I see different questions that have similar theme. And before we talk about how people can reach out to you, I'm gonna post on the screen right now your website so people can reach out to you. Can they also, everybody, make sure you reach out to Sabine, sabinetherapies.com. Classes, yes, it's for everyone. Classes, animal communication. Check, please connect with Sabine. But I'm going to summarize a few questions, if it's your mind, because it's all the same element. Sometimes we do have pets who passed away, and sometimes we come back and then we get another pet, and they seem to display similar characteristic or persona. Is it possible that the energy of what our pet, or let's say our beloved dog who passed, then has returned into the next animals that we adopt or who comes into our lives?
Yes, that's possible. That's not always the case, but that's possible. And they have also situation where it's temporary situation where you adopt another animal after the first one passed away, and that new animal seems totally different than your old cat, let's say like that, or dog. And all of a sudden, the animal is 1 or 2 years old, and you start to see behavior like you saw maybe in your old dog. But you need always to think and reconnect with your mind and say, what I was thinking about lately. Maybe I was, without realizing, calling my dog who passed away, or maybe wishing certain things, or having memories with my old dog that died maybe 1 year ago. And all of a sudden, you see that new dog behaving and you feel the same energy. This is happening when we have somehow like a shapeshift, because animals are capable to jump out of their body very easily and give the space to another one to manifest. They are not two in one body. One is living temporary to give the space to the other one. I had clients who followed my classes and did the exercise I taught them when the animal passed away. And not everyone, very intuitive people who were really committed to do the exercise and work, had this experience where we had a form of shape shift, where the animal in spirit was taking the body of the new one just to say, hey, look, I'm still here. You wanted the sign, I give it to you. Now you have it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Absolutely right on. It doesn't mean it's your dog that came back to you in this body, but they're temporarily coexisting in the body to let you know as a sign, I'm here. And you're right. If you think about your animal who passed away and you miss them, and sometimes you can also maybe manifest some similar trait into the other animal who come into your life as a healing support. I love
Exactly.
that. So that answers a lot of questions we have here. And another aspect of question I see also in the chat room for you is, can we have shared past life with our animals? Are we coming back again together in this lifetime?
Yeah. Yeah. And I've been the first surprised with my cat. Where I wanted to ask her some question. And she looked at me and she said, because since the beginning, I felt that I knew her from a past life, but mainly what I felt, it was a man, very spiritual, very high level, like Buddha stuff. Well, not a Buddha, I mean, someone who was in a monastery, but very, very high level. And I was like, yeah, this is my imagination. Time passed. I felt that when I met her the first time, and I forgot. And one day I was questioning her, looking into her eyes and saying, I would like to know maybe who you was in the past life. La, la, la. I have the feeling I know you. She looked at me straight into my eyes, and Lucy has big yellow eyes, and you're like, wow. And she's looking at you. She said, you are not ready to hear what I have to tell you. And I felt that man coming back at the front in her body. I was, wow. And I stopped. I panicked that day. I really panicked because she was right. I was not ready to hear the answer. And she said, come back later. When you will be ready, I will explain to you. Okay, fine. Yeah. Then, yes. Yeah. And I had also testimony from some of my clients saying the same. Yeah. Some
Okay.
very intuitive clients who were telling me, Sabine, I saw this, and that. And I really have the feeling that, yeah, I know my animal from another life. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. Absolutely.
And it's normal because it's a soul somehow. Like I said, they can reincarnate in human or any other form. They just change the vessel. Then, yes, for me, I was shocked because that was my ego reacting, nothing else. Because I'm trying to, balance. My ego is not always easy, even now. And then, yeah, that day I panicked only because it was my ego reacting, nothing else.
Very well
But yes,
said.
to change vessel.
Oh my goodness. Has been like, as always, Chef. Have you noticed every time we start a beautiful episode, we settle into the energy and then we go into a time warp.
I know. It's tell you 2 hours. We got to increase it.
Oh, I know. It's just my goodness. Sabine, I feel you've been so generous with all of us, with your energy, your heart, your expertise, your wisdom, your gifts. And I can tell you that you have helped a lot of people today. I've been monitoring very closely the chat room. Really, Red Rose says we need to upgrade to 3 hours. You want? We love you, Red Rose. I know you are. We love you. So keep that in mind. And yes, you are gifted enough to talk to animals. Remember that, Red Rose. So you answer that in spades, Sabine. I also posted your website in a chat room so people can have it. We are ready to go into deeper knowledge. Yes, we are. And that's what we bring here. Yeah, it felt like 20 minutes. I agree. We're ready to go deep.
Me too.
Deep. Really wonderful discussion. So our tradition here on the Infinite Star Connection, stay with us. We're going to take just a few minutes just to do a clearing. Let's clear the space. Let's center ourselves into our energy. And if you would, everybody, let's stay into that beautiful, beautiful energy with each other, holding the space with Sabine, Jeff, and myself. And thank you for closing your eyes as we invite our star brothers and sisters, the angelic realm, Mother Gaia, her elementals, all the beautiful dimensional kingdom that coexists with the earth, the sacred animal kingdoms, the mineral kingdom, oceanic life, and the absolutely amazing, amazing earth humans, humanity as a conscious community of light. We all are amazing being of light, and remember your divinity within you. Today we invite you to breathe to the gateway of your heart, remembering deeply within your being how much you are connected to all there is, all forms of life through Creator. As we bring in the sacred golden rays of divine source energy, bringing in love of Creator as Creator substance that brings us all together in unity consciousness, to help you unify any soul fragments or any form of fragmentation within you, releasing fear, releasing anxiety, releasing impression of disconnection, of feeling less power than, releasing all that no longer serves our beautiful transcendence into our light as we rise into our power as sovereign beings, as we're walking side by side with each other, including with the animal kingdoms, no matter we consider them as farm, wild, domesticated, in any shape or forms. We honor all of us, all of them, all together in oneness. Let's take a deep breath to your core and release. Feel the light within you one more time. Deep breath from your core and release. And feel this flow of divine life force energy flowing through your spine, through your chakra system, through your body as a template, expanding your energetic field and your heart, and nurturing your roots. Beautiful. Beautiful. You're now welcome to open your eyes. And this energy will be there even in the replay. Sabine, it has absolutely been a privilege to have you today. I'm sure I speak on behalf of Jeff and I and everyone who's tuned in. This has been absolutely a gift, and very happy to have you here. I'm sure you'll be back. And all the way from Dubai, even though for you it's pretty late for you right now.
It's 11:30 in evening.
Oh, fantastic. What we have done together, it's also to unify both hemisphere of the planet in oneness.
Thank you for receiving me. It was really a pleasure and I enjoyed a lot. It was really exciting. Really. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You are most welcome.
I wanted to say one thing before leaving.
Please.
You don't need to be gifted to communicate with animals. I say that all the time to all my students. It's like a rusty muscle that you didn't use. And mainly we are born with these telepathic abilities, but we are relying on the verbal language. And this is why we don't use that ability. And it's becoming like a rusty muscle. If you are trained, believe me, that's not a problem. That's very easy. We just need to reconnect. That's what is missing. And I wish really that everyone would be able to communicate with animal like in very ancient time, in ancient Egypt. They were naturally communicating with each and every animal. It was not like, wow, stuff was normal. And I would love that this become normal with each and every one in the future. That would be amazing because animal abuse would not exist anymore. And they would be respected for who they are, including the animal who decide to sacrifice themselves as a meat.
Oh.
Because they are tortured before dying, but they are okay to sacrifice themselves. This is their mission. But in ancient time, when you look into the farm, yes, animals were dying and serving as a meat, but they were blessed before. They had a form of the ritual. They had a respect towards the animal. Everything was done in a certain way that the animal knew that's the end of my contract. I'm leaving my body first, and then, okay, do what you have to do. But the animal is not there when you kill it. I mean, the consciousness of the animal left already. But they had a respect, and they had a process. Now, let's not speak about this. And that's why we need to go back, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very well said. Very well said. Very potent, very powerful. This is why we need to come back to living to the essentials, as we doctors call it. The respect of all life. The respect. And I would say over time, as the human body evolve into more light, these rituals will no longer be necessary at some point because the body template is shifting into a more crystalline energy. But in the meantime, let's bring back the respect, honoring life, reverence for life, because it reflects back to you. It reflects back into your body, your consciousness as well. So think about it. Think about this. Sabine, that was absolutely essential. I am thrilled that you mentioned that as we're wrapping up today. Thank you so much, everyone, tuning again. We have another amazing episode on Sunday, July 17th, same time, 11 a.m. Pacific time, which would be 2 p.m. Eastern time. So Sunday, July 17th, join us. Jeff, who's we're having on July 17th?
The one and only Tom Dongo.
Woohoo! I met him in Sedona. Can't wait to have Tom right here. So join us, everyone. But today, and moving forward, Sabine, you have created an imprint in space and time, and I will send you the replay. People, listen to this again and again. Let it speak to your heart. Reach out to Sabine. Merci beaucoup. Merci à vous tous. Thank you very much. Work on everyone.
Sabine Poncelet.
De rien. Welcome and thank you. Bye-bye.
We'll see you soon. Much love, everyone.
Bye-bye. Merci.
Merci.